Welcome to MacroCode. If you are new to this channel, consider subscribing. So today we are going to proceed with our documents management system. So if you are watching our videos and you haven't subscribed, please consider subscribing, like the video, and also comment down below. So on today's video, we are going to proceed with our documents management system. And for those who have been following this particular series, so today we have our system here, and we are going to enhance it based on some of the changes that we had done. So on our previous video, we were able to do audit trails. So on our audit trails, we were able to create our database. So if you go to our database, so let's just go to application DB context. So here, then you realize that we were able to create we have our model. Where is our model? We have the audit trails. Then we also have the folders. Then we also have we also wrote a code here on save changes. Then we added these changes here. So every time we save our details, then it will be tracking all the updates that we've done. So what we need to do is in our application, everywhere we have clients, for example, we need to go and add on create, we add a user ID on save changes. So our save changes, we've modified it to require user ID every time we do save changes. So if you go back to our app, so let me just launch our application and see how it looks like. So if you're watching our series and you haven't subscribed, please consider subscribing, like the video, and also comment down below. So you notice 90% of you guys are watching our videos and you haven't subscribed. So I'll just launch my application. Then as you can see, this is our dashboard. Then we have our active documents, which we have not added. We have our all clients. So I'll just click on all clients, and you can see here we have this list of records. So we have the add new. So here you'll have the client code. So I'll just put in the client code. We can say here, you can say Maridadi. Then Maridadi. Then I can say client name is Maridadi Enterprises. Then I'll put in the address, the phone number, the contact person, and the email. So if I click add, then we'll have our clients added. We have folders, so we should be able to also create folders. So on our folders, we have two ways. So you can see we have the parent, the folder code, the folder name, and also the parent folder. So you can have subfolders in a folder. So if I come here and say add new, you can create here a folder. You can say this is a, so which kind of folder do we create? So you can create a folder that will be storing like, let's say, what do we store there? A code. You can say code. Say here source code. Then we can say whether it has a parent folder or it's this the first or this is the parent folder. So if it's the parent folder, we don't need to select it. So I'll just create this. Then you can see here we have the code, a source code. So that's the name of the folder. The parent folder, you can see it's empty. That means this is the parent folder. Now, if this is the parent folder, we can create a subfolder. So I'll come here and say EDMS code. So we can say maybe this is the electronic. We can say here EDMS code. So this is the electronic document management system, and we can choose this as the parent folder. Then I'll say add. So you can see for EDMS code, it has the code name and the folder name, and this is the parent folder. Now this is how the folder looks like. So, but now we can have a different way on how we'll display this. So for now, I think we can just leave it as it is, but we'll be showcasing a different way on how you can retrieve, you can actually save the folders. So there's one thing that I want us to do now today. So I want us, when we have on our folder, on our documents, whenever we create documents, I want us to have, we create a model called document. and this will be storing documents. I'll just create a class here we call document. Then I'll say this, I'll put a comment here, say this model stores all the documents created and shared. So we'll be having, we need an ID, so I'll say this is int. So we can have the name of the document. We can have the description. We can have the title, author. We don't need all this. I can say an ID name. Then I can do something like document number. I can do here document number. You can have the name. You can have the description. The first thing you need to know is we need to have our, so let me zoom this. We need to have our user activity. Our user activity has the created by, you see this, created on, created by, modified on, and even modified by. All these details are there. So if I just go back here, we'll be having document number, the name, description. Do we need this? We don't need this. You can say here, do you need the title? I don't think so. You can have the folder. So here I'll say folder ID. Remember here, this will be in. This is a foreign key. And I'll just have here I'll have my folder here. So I'll come here and say folder. And we say this is a folder. So this is my documents. Then there is one thing. I'll also want to have my status of the document. I'll call this status ID. I'll call status ID. Then I'll have here system code. So this is where we are storing all our documents. System code detail ID detail. Then I'll call this status. So then I'll also have I'll also have here something called you can say here storage. This should be string. And say this is string. So this is storage, and here I can say, so this will be a URL, for example, where it is stored. Then I can remove this status. So this is a simple documents view. So here you can see here we have storage. So and we'll be creating these documents. Now you can see here I have my folder ID. Then I have the status. But now I want us to have another thing. I can say here, I want this document, we can have, let me also copy this. You can have a description actually. Let's do description of the document. I think we had done it there, so I'll remove it. Then there's something I can have, we call it document type. Document type ID. You can have various types of documents. So I'll come here and say document type. And this is a system code detail. So these are foreign key. Then these documents might be tied to departments. So I'll say here department ID. So each department will be having their own document. So I'll say a department. And I'll say this is department. So that's also a foreign key. Then I think that's the only thing. So we'll be having folders. We choose a folder. We choose a document. Then we have status of the document. We have the storage. Then we have here the document type. Then department. Then I think we are going to have another thing whereby we are able to define the certain policies for that particular document. One is I want us to define something we called, you can call it retention period. So here I'll just call it retention period ID. Then here I'll have this a system code detail. Then I'll call this retention period. Then for retention period can be 30 days. So this is kind of a policy. When you are creating a document, you define a retention period for that particular document. Then you say on the retention action that needs to be taken. So retention, we call this retention action ID. So whether a document it reaches 10 years or 5 years, what needs to be done, either deleted or archived. So you'll also need to tell us the retention period. So another thing is, I want us to also define I think we'll see what we need to documents. These kind of documents can be accessed by who. So here we'll define that so that we're able to see every document. It has to be accessed by some either roles, or on those roles you can also specify whether you want to allow users to access them, multiple users or even single users. So we'll see how you can define that. Now, you know, once you do this, you need to actually define you need to now have this in our application DB context. So we'll just go to application DB context. Then we have our clients, our documents here. I'll call these documents, and then we can have these as documents. So once that's ready, remember we need to do migration. So I'll go NuGet Package Manager console. Then I'll just do here add migration. Then I say documents updates. Then once I do documents update, so it will generate our migration file, and we should proceed and update our database. So that's as simple as that. So if you're watching our series and you haven't subscribed, please consider subscribing, like the video. And so we have an issue. You see, unable to create the exception entity requires a primary key to be defined. Let's go to our document. Where is it? Our document here. See the system code, status, document type, department, retention, retention action. We'll call this retention action. Then retention period. This should be retention period. Sorry. This should be retention period. Department ID. This should be department. Then we have document type. This should be document type. Status. It should be status ID. Then all that. So this is fine. So what is this saying? So it says unable to create DB context. Application requires a primary key to be defined if you intend to use for any. So I think that's fine. So let me just come here and clean it. Then we can add migrations. I'll just come here and say add migration. Add migration. So let's just see how this looks like. So if everything goes well, then we should be having our app ready. So it says you are unable to create DB context. The exception type requires primary key to be defined. What is the issue here? We have an issue. We have DB set. Then we have, is this an issue with our model? What have we done wrong? So this is, does our system code details doesn't have a primary key? It does. So let me see. Is it what we've added? Let me just comment this. So if I do here add migrations, so let's just see our code generating. Yes, it's actually based on what. So I'll just remove migration. So that's how you remove migration. So I'll just say remove migration. Then it will remove the last migration that we just added. So we need to check why this is not, why this is raising an error here. So I'll just come here, DB context. Yes, I think we've done one thing here which is wrong. You see here, we are doing system code details. This should be system code detail. So you should not specify the table name here, but the model. So that's fine. I was wondering what is the issue with our. So once you do that, I'll just come here and say here, add migration documents updates. Then it will generate our migration file, and we should update our database with now the new changes that we have. So as you can see, our migration file has been generated, and we have documents and all those fields that needs to be done. Now, after doing this, we need to update our database. So I'll just say here, update database, press enter. Then our database will be updated with the new table. Then you can also scaffold our table. So as you can see, our table is being generated, and we have all these fields here, all these fields. Now, that's easy as that. Then we can now scaffold our page. I'll say new scaffolded item. Then here, MVC controller with views using entity framework code. Then I'll choose the model, which is document. Then I'll just add the code. So that should be fine. So let's just wait for our code to generate. So if you're watching our video and you haven't subscribed, please consider subscribing. So, and if you also want to buy us coffee, you can buy us coffee using the link down below. And it will go a long way in ensuring that we do most of these episodes. So as you can see, we have our documents. This is our documents code. So it has generated a lot of code here. Now, if we go to the views, if you go to the views, you realize that we have our documents folder. You see here. Then we have index. So now on our shared layout, we can now have something called documents. You will see this. We have this active document. So I'll just put here ASP controller. Then I can say documents. Then you can also have ASP action. I'll do here index. So now if we launch our app, we can now navigate to documents without any problem. So let's just launch our app and see how our application looks like. So I'll just come here. Then on documents, I can now say active documents, and you can see it will take us to this particular page. Now let's beautify our index. So if you go to our document, our index, this is how it looks. So you don't need this modified by details. We also don't need the retention and action. I'll just say we can leave the retention. I think there's a lot of fields here, so we can have the document name now, remove description. We can have do you need the folder? Not really. I can remove all this. I leave the document type, department, and the created on. So we have document number, name, document type, department, created on, and created by. So here we can use created by ID. So here I'll do document name, document type. So this is the document type, and document type we do here description. So I'll also remove these others. So I'll have the document name type, then department. Department I also do a name. Then we remove the retentions, all this. Created by, here I'll do full name. So we want the name of the person who created the application. Then I can also remove all this here. So then we can copy the styles that we had on our previous sections. For example, under index, I'll just copy from here. Then if we go to documents, I'll replace it, this one. Then I'll call these active documents. Then I'll say add new, and this is documents. Then I'll also close the divs here. So let me zoom it. I'll close the div tags here. Then I can just copy and close some. So if I format that, then we are left with that. So this is how it looks like. Then I can have my buttons. So that is you see this. And the only thing now we need to do is let's not allow deletion of documents once it's created. We'll only be having edit and view. So a document can only be archived. So I'll just say here as well. Or we can change this to archive. Instead of deletion, let's change this to archive. Then we can change this to, as you can say, archive. Then our headers, we can look for our headers. You can pick these ones. Then we have it here. So then we call these edit, archive. So I'll call these archive. Archive. Then I'll remove this. So if I format this now, if I update, we should be able to have, you can see how our table now looks like. We have document number, name, that, edit, archive. But we can also, let's also decorate with decorate our model. So I'll do here display name. I'll do display name, and we can have here, let's do here document number, and say here document number. Then here I'll say document name. Then you can say here description. Then you can say here folder, status, then you have your storage, then you have your document type. Then this one I'll just say that. Then I'll say your department name. The department name. So this is my department name. Then I'll say here retention period. Then we have here retention action. The retention action. So after doing that, let's relaunch our app and see. I'll just relaunch. Then this should be okay, and we should now be able to see how the app looks like. So let's just let's go to our app. Then here I'll say active documents. Then you'll see here we have document name. So if we say new, you see how our forms look like. So it looks a bit weird. So this is how the form looks like. And you can see it is displaying 1, 1, 1, 1. We don't know what these 1, 1s are. So we can now make this look better. So let's go to our create action. So remember we had done something like that. I'll just copy, for example, and clients. We had, so we want to make this look something like what we have on clients. If you go to clients and say new, so you see how the form looks like. So I'll just come back here to documents, create, then I'll paste this here. So I'll say this is add new document. Then here I'll do call md6. Then I can replace all this here. I'll replace this, replace this, 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 this. I'll do it here. I'll also do it here. So there are some things that I want us to remove. For example, modified on, modified by, those are system generated. I'll also remove this. So then I'll close the tag here. Then if I just format this, you'll be able to format, and I can remove that. Let me try to close it. So there are some tags that has not been closed. So if I format it now, so let me remove this. So here I'll just proceed, and if I update this form, you realize that our form will update. And let's go to clients and see. So you see our form has been updated. Add new document. We have document number, name, status, folder. You see document type, that. So we also need to check this. We have an issue somewhere, this one. So you see all these details here. One, status, and all this. But status, whenever we create a document, we should not be selecting status. We should actually be defining the, or we can actually add, do you allow users to select status? Because yes, I think let's not allow this. When you are creating, the system should automatically provide the status as either pending, approval, and we can actually allow this to be approved. Every document you upload will be approved. So you've removed that. So these others we need to change to ensure that it's not displaying these wrong numbers here. So how do we do that? So let's go to create action under the controller, that is documents controller. Then you go to create action, then remove this created by, remove also modified by, status, we don't need it, retention, folder, document. Then for the documents here will be, instead of ID you do name, document type you do description, folder, let's see on folder what was the, we have the name. So that's what we want to display on our app. So I'll do here name. Then retention, I also do description and description. So all this now we can do it. So same case here. So I'll remove this. I'll say this is name. I'll also say this is description. Then this is name. This is, I remove the modified. For the retention, I'll do description. This is description. Then status, I'll also remove it. So during edit also it applies the same thing. So I'll just replace it here. So I'll have edit, and if you go down here, you'll also replace it. So then I think that's all. So if I just launch our app, we should be able to see how it looks like and review. So if you are watching our series and you haven't subscribed, please consider subscribing, like the video, and comment down below. So your subscription means a lot to us. So just like the video and even comment below so that this is suggested to other people. So if I go to active documents and I say here new, you realize that now under document number, this and this, I have something we call folders. And these folders, you see, it's picking both the parent and subfolders. So I think we'll try to organize these folders so that you're able to see which are parents and which are subfolders. So you can make it cascading depending on the main folder. So you'll see how that looks. Then for the department, so if you go to departments here, you realize that we have all these departments. So that's what we have here. Then for the documents type, you see here we have male, female. So it is displaying everything. So we need to filter that. Then also retention and this one. So what I want us to do first is we need to create our department, our, what was it here? We need documents type. So document type, I want us to create a system code. So come here, call system code, then call it document types. Then this one will be document types. So if I add that, then come to system code, I can now add the documents type. So I'll pull the document type, then I'll say we have various documents type that we can add to our system. One is invoices. So assuming we want to store invoice, so I'll say invoices. We'll say invoice. Then I can add another document type. I can call it purchase order. So I'll call it PO, purchase order. Then I'll also add another one called project proposal. We'll call it PP, project proposal. Then I'll save it. I'll create another one called technical report. Maybe it's technical report. I'll just so I'm creating sample document types. I'll also create another one called policy document, PD. Call this policy document. I'll add it. I'll also create another one called TM, which is a training manual. I'll say this is manual. Then I'll also create another one called FS, financial statement. Then I'll create another one called let's call it IM. Then you say internal memo. So this is our internal memo. So for documents type, so if you go to our list under create, you see for documents types here. So here we need to do something now. We don't need everything here. So I'll say dot include. Then I'll say x equals to x dot system code. So this will be document type. So this will be document type. Document. I mean, this should be system code. Then we say here dot where. So I'll say x equals to x dot. Sorry, let me try to zoom this in. So this will be equals to x dot system code dot code. System code dot code equals to. So system code dot code, we need to take only those codes that has this, so that has been tied to documents type. I'll just come here and say documents type. So same case, we need to create where was our documents type. So I'll come here and say we need to create for departments, it is on its table, so it's fine. For folders on its table, but this table is what we are sharing. So you see we have male, female, so we want to filter it out. Then retention period, also we need to create our retention period. So retention period will come also to system codes. Then we say retention period. Then we say this is retention period. Then I'll say add. Then come to system codes. I'll choose retention period. Then I can say here 30 days. I'll say here 30 days. This is 30 days. So this depends on those documents that wants to be retained only for 30 days. So I'll also have here, I can say here 60 days. And I can say this is 60 days. I can also add another one. I can say this is 90 days. This is 90 days. I can say here 180 days. Then this is 180 days. And we need to ensure we select retention, or else it will be added as general. So if we do that, we need to, I think I need to specify this so that it's not auto-selected. 1 year, you can see here, 1 year. Then I think that's enough. So what we need to do now, we need to also do the same thing. So I'll just come to our system code. So I'll just pick this for our retention period. I'll also paste here, and also this one. The only thing we'll need to change is we need to change the filter. So I'll just say retention period and I replace it here. So retention action. So we can have also that system code. We call it retention action. So I'll call it retention action. So I'll say this is a retention action. So I'll add it. Then for system codes, I'll do new. Then I'll select here a retention action. Retention action. I'll say here this is delete. So you can delete. I'll say here delete. Then I can add new. I'll also say retention action. I can say archive. I can say this is archive. So if you come back here and do, so we'll come to system codes and I can say retention action. I'll come here and do retention action. Now what we've done here will apply to all these. So I'll just pick from here to there. So anywhere we have document types, I'll pick from here. Actually, it is now proposing for us. You can see. So for retention action, just do this. For retention period, you also put this. For others, it's fine. So anywhere we have document type, we do that. For retention action, that, then we just replace it. Retention action, we put that. Retention period, we put that. Somewhere also here, we do the same thing. We need to filter out. So I'll come here, I put retention period. This will be that. Then retention action. Then I think that's fine. Now if I launch our app, I should be able to see how those drop down looks like. So it will now be based on what we've just created, and it will not display everything. I'll just come here to our documents, then active documents. Then if I click new, then you should see now document number, name. We have policies folder. Then document type, you can see there are invoices, purchase order, project proposal. technical policy, training, and financial statement. Then we have department. Retention period, you can see it's 30, 60, 180, 1 year, based on what we added. Then action is delete. So for example, if you just want to add more about retention period, for example, 1 year, we want to add more like 2 years to 5 years. So if I come here and say system code details, add new, then I say retention period, I say 2 years, then I say this is 2 years and add it. I can also add another one. I say here retention period, I can say 3 years. This is 3 years. Add it. Then I can also say 5 years. Retention period, 5 years. So this is 5 years. So if I add it, then it's fine. So if I go back here and I say new, you'll see I have my 3 years, 2 years, 3 years, and 5 years. So it has been added. So that's how you update now the system code details to align to your form. Now, that is part of what we have done. So if you go back, you can see here, if I click on the dashboard, it's not doing anything. But we should ensure that our dashboard takes us back to home. I'll just come to system code layer, that is the shared layout, and the dashboard. I can just click here, say SP controller. I'll do home. I can just say here SP action index. So if I update, then our app should be okay. If I click home, it takes me now back to home. So if I just click on it, you can see I'm able to navigate back to home. If I go to active documents, I can click clients, I can click folders, I can click audit trails. Remember, we've been creating some records. So you can see we've been creating the clients, folders, system codes. You can see the system has been tracking. We now have 26 entries. And if we go to our database, you'll be able to see all those audits. So as you can see, if we just select, you can see all these details here. So the system is tracking what we've been doing. You can see here we have the audit type. It's added. We've been adding a lot of things. The table we've been affecting. These are the tables. The timestamp. And because we have not deleted, we don't have all values. We just have new values. I think we need to check why our affected columns are not loaded. But we have all this data. So this is the data that we just inserted. So it's actually saved in a JSON format in our database. So you can see all these are actually audit logs. Then we have the primary key. So this is the primary key of those records. So if I just go to our app now, you can see this is how the app looks like. If you go back to home and everything looks normal. So what I want us to check now is we've done this. So I want us, when we come back, to see how we create these documents and also create other actions that we are going to link, even roles and workflows about the documents, and how you can share these documents with others. So I think I'm going to leave it there for today. And in case you like the video, comment down below and see you in our next episode.